I wanted to talk about vocal ability too before we get too far into this because I'm a big fan of vocals as an instrument, and a lot of people don't really give a lot of credit to a vocalist as they would a lead guitarist or a drummer, somebody who's really good at those instruments. How much work do you put into your vocals? Because I know from listening to your music, your vocals are very streamlined, but at the same time, they're edgy, they're raw at times. It's like you always know what to do in a certain lyric or a certain situation within your music. Is this a strategy of yours? Is this something you have learned over time with your vocals?
Maybe both. Maybe so I definitely feel like I've learned, even the older I get, the more I'm better about this. But trying to evoke whatever that emotion is of that line. So if it's angry, having, maybe a little more like rasp or you know,
Yeah.
loudness in
Well,
your
like the
voice at
song we
that.
have coming up later in the episode, "A Good Song Out of You." It's very flowery vocally. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yes.
And it's
Yes.
so needed for that song and the message in that song. But like when I first
Yeah.
heard you do that song, I was like, "Wow, this is a different side of your vocals." That's yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, so my first project that I recorded, that my Dive Bar Superstar project, I think I was 22 when I recorded it. And then I started releasing it, I think around like 23 and then 24. And so that time of my life, I was still kind of figuring out what was in my vocal toolbox. And,
Hmm.
I was fighting that thing of being like, I want to be Amy Winehouse so
Yeah.
bad, but I'm country. So I think over time I've learned different songs require different pieces of your voice. And so yeah, if I'm writing something that's like softer, then I think more of my like country kind of Dolly Parton side of my voice
Yeah.
comes out. And then if it's, something more gritty, then, there's another more of like the rock and roll kind of thing. And so I think it's a constant evolving thing
Yes.
that happens, because but I'm a big fan of not perfectionism, but storytelling through your voice. And
Yeah.
I mentioned Willie Nelson earlier. He's one of my favorites, even vocally, because he's not the greatest singer, but when he sings, I feel something. And I've for a long time, when people ask me who my favorite artists are, they're oftentimes not the best singers in the world because but I feel something. There's soul
Yeah.
from their
Yeah.
voice.
It's
And
about the feel, and it
um
should be about the feel. Yeah.
yeah, and if people are so pitch perfect that they never hit any kind of note that's wrong. And I think that's amazing, like amazing technique. But at the same time, if I don't feel anything and I don't really believe that that artist feels that, then I have a
Yes.
hard time connecting.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
man. You're saying it all. Man, there it is right there, y'all. The believability is the most important thing in connecting with an audience. And if you don't
Yes.
connect with your audience as an artist, you are lost. You will never
Right.
get anywhere. Man, I love that. Believability, that's it in a nutshell. And
It
I
is.
love that you know this, man. It's so awesome. Um,
Well, thank
Man,
you.
that's exciting. Yeah, it's all about making people believe what you have written, and it's so important to deliver it in a way that they can resonate with it.
Yeah, well, it's
And
like
it
you think
comes
about
down to
like,
feel. You're right. It comes down to feel.
yeah, and like actors, it's like you watch an actor who they might be doing all the parts perfect, but if if somebody is like really connected to that role,
Hmm.
or if they're just doing it for the
Just
money,
mailing it in. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Man,
I
you can,
think it's
and
the
that's the
same with
thing,
voice.
man. Artists always, oh, I should say, um, music fans are very good at figuring out when somebody is not passionate about what they're doing. They're just going through the motions. You can feel it,
Yes.
or if they're strung out, or if they're drunk, or if they're just if the artist is not connecting with their music, then
Oh yeah.
how do you expect the audience to? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't believe what you're saying, then what are you doing?
Man, good stuff, man. That's a great segment right there. I'm glad we talked about that because, man, I like I said, I feel like vocalists do not get enough credit in what they do with their vocals to deliver a message. I'll give you a good example. A pop artist, Billie Eilish, right? She is so
Yeah,
incredible with her vocals and just making little things and little sounds and little
she is.
she's just so good at that. And at the end of the day, it just makes you feel more. It gets you more connected with what she's doing with her art. And it comes down to believability, 100%. I love it.
Absolutely.